but goes to the locker room, comes back in the fourth quarter. We've got the Big Ben back. Early fourth quarter now, Gilbert throws, but Minka Fitzpatrick is there to pick it off in the end zone. So it's an opportunity here because the Steelers are able to kick a field goal. 4 left in the fourth. Big Ben now finds Johnson, sideline, 42 yards. And the Steelers now are looking to take the lead. And they do just that a couple of plays later. Roethlisberger's going to hook up with Eric Ebron for the 8-yard touchdown. They did try to go for 2. That didn't work. Cowboys didn't go away, though. 24-19, looking to come back. 4th and 8, Garrett Gilbert sacked by Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt. So Cowboys turn it over on downs. And then after the Steelers turn it over on downs, the Cowboys get the ball back. 40 seconds left in the game, and Gilbert going to roll out and watch what CeeDee Lamb does. Sideline. Catch, gets out. That's a thing of beauty. Play was reviewed. You just said it there. Toe tap, upheld. So the Cowboys have the ball now at the 50-yard line. 3rd and 10. Gilbert hits up Michael Gallup down the field. First down, middle of the field. What are you going to do? You're going to spike it. 3rd and 4. Gilbert's pass. You're not going to be the hero on everyone. That one's going to fall incomplete. Steelers hold on to win this one 24-19, and I got cute, and at least I wasn't wrong. This Steelers team is the first in history to actually start a season 8-0. Steelers improved to 8-0 this season. Like I said, it is their best start in franchise history. They're going to look to keep the winning ways going next week in a divisional matchup with Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I happened to see a tweet from Ryan Clark earlier, and he was like, the best team in the NFL is a team that gets to play the Steelers and the Ravens right after they play each other. The Ben Roethlisberger early in this game was much different than Ben Roethlisberger late in this game. How was he a difference maker late? That'd be for you, Tim.
Well, listen, I think part of the reason is just kind of Ben being Ben, to be honest with you. I mean, he gets banged up. I thought there was a good shot that he wasn't going to end up being able to finish that football game, but he just finds a way to battle. And I think that the football team rallies around kind of that ability to kind of keep fighting. When you look at what they've done, you just think about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their leading rusher, James Conner, had 22 yards. This was Ben Roethlisberger putting the offense on his back, especially late in the football game. Was he perfect? No, he was far from perfect. And I think at times his knee was bothering him, as pointed out kind of during the broadcast, on a few outbreaking routes to his left. That being said, I just think that his competitiveness, his experience, his ability when things are kind of in crunch time, you know, in the biggest moments of the football game, to just slow everything down and play his absolute best. And so I thought the Dallas Cowboys did a nice job. I thought Garrett Gilbert came in and, did enough to help them win the football game. Their defense played better. But ultimately, you see why having a guy at that position that is able to slow it down when it matters the most, you see why that is so valuable and why this is a team that was, a 500 team a year ago with bad quarterback play, while they're undefeated now with good quarterback play.
What did you see?
Look, so coming into this game, I wanted to see them dominate the Dallas Cowboys. And when I say dominate, I mean they were wounded. You knew the Dallas Cowboys, they're down to their third quarterback. But they didn't do exactly what I wanted. For them to be the best team in the NFL, they need to dominate the teams that they're supposed to dominate. And I know they're coming off some big wins, but in this game, they kind of let me down. I thought they were going to be better. I thought they gave Dallas too much confidence early in this game. And those types of games where the quarterback, Big Ben, is not great early, and you give another team the confidence to kind of feel like, look, we can beat this team. We can hang with this team. They're undefeated. Yeah, look at us. We're not having a great year, but they go out there and they compete. So for me, I wanted to see Pittsburgh dominate from start to finish. They weren't able to do that. So for me, yes, I get it. They won the game, but they failed the test for me, saying, okay, this team right here is going to dominate the Dallas Cowboys, because they should if they were the best team in the NFL. They didn't dominate them.
So let me ask you that. They're 8-0. Record says they are the best team in the NFL, but this is the same day that we saw a big win from the Bills over the Seahawks, and you could argue that that was more of a statement win than this game was, possibly for the Steelers. So who is the best team in the NFL?
Kansas City still. Kansas City. And
not even in the conversation, not even in the question.
Listen, I said before this game, if the Steelers go out here and dominate the Cowboys like they should, then yes, that makes their case to be the best in the league. But when you look at Kansas City right now, they're still rolling offensively. And the Steelers, to me, if they would have done that, I would have said, okay,
but the Chiefs didn't roll over the Panthers.
Well, guess what? I felt like offensively, they still were able to do that. They like you look at you're laughing.
I can hear Tim laughing.
I know Tim's laughing. That's what I said to myself coming in. I'm like, I want to see the Steelers go out here and roll the Cowboys.
Okay.
And the champions are still the champions to me. So until
this coming from the guy who won how many Super Bowls with the Patriots? Tim, why are you laughing when you hear him say this?
Why I'm laughing? I'm surprised the defensive guy is kind of just favoring the offense. Look, I love the Chiefs also, and I think we are clearly splitting hairs when we start talking about which one of those teams is better. But I do think this, and I'd be interested to hear what Rob has to say about it. I do think there comes a point where this undefeated situation becomes a weight that's not worth carrying. I think that can legitimately be a thing for a football team when everybody's kind of looking for their best effort each and every week out to stay perfect. Look, the Chiefs aren't perfect, and they might be the best team in all of the National Football League. And it's okay that they lost a game. It's okay that they, had a fight with the Carolina Panthers. And so I do think part of what can happen is you have this perfect season and the expectations, it's just not worth carrying when it's hard enough to win games each and every week in the NFL.
I kind of feel like, yes, you can go toe-to-toe with the Panthers, but almost losing to a team that's on its fourth quarterback in a season, that's sort of a different statement. And that is where I want to stay with the Cowboys. You can have ugly wins and you can have pretty losses. They're both valued the same, but in a lot of ways, this was a big but good loss for Dallas. What did you see in them today that maybe gives you a little bit of hope?
Well, I just think you saw a better team, coming together and playing for each other. In the past, we all know the Dalton hit and everybody was standing around looking and not doing anything about it. I think when you saw Dallas, they were playing better as a team unit. And early in this game, they might have had a shot to win this football game, but they didn't come down to it in the end. They weren't able to make the plays. And back to the Kansas City talk, we're not really saying anything about Pat Mahomes, and he's just kind of under the radar right now.
No, he's not getting any mention when it comes to MVP conversation.
He's playing insane right now. And when I watched that game against Carolina, I was like, okay, yeah, that's why they're still my number one. Because you look at that offense, you look at Pat Mahomes, he's out there doing things that just nobody's really talking about. And I get it. Everyone's talking about him in years past. But right now, Kansas City and with Pat Mahomes, that quarterback play is lights out. And even if they struggle a little bit on defense, Pat Mahomes, to me, wins that number one battle over Ben Roethlisberger right now.
I like how I asked a question about making good things out of what happened today for the Cowboys, and somehow we ended up talking about
well, I don't think
Patrick
the Cowboys
Mahomes.
are going to be in the playoffs. So.
I don't think they're going to be in the playoffs either, but you've got a first-year coach in Mike McCarthy, and you've got a team that's really struggling with injuries. And so when you go toe-to-toe in a lot of ways with the team that could be described as the best team in the NFL, what good things, Tim, can the Cowboys take from today?
Well, I do think this. There's been a lot of heat on Mike McCarthy for not having his team, playing at the level a lot of people expected it to play at. And I think that, look, we've been critical after games about the effort on defense, as Rob, alluded to, the Dalton hit, things like that. They've had some challenges. There's no question about it. They've had their challenges. And so I think that Mike McCarthy has to look at this as like, hey, these need to be building blocks for what we're trying to do beyond the 2020 season. And so the good parts about it, look, there's some young players that are stepping up and playing better. That's a good thing. They had a quarterback who's their fourth quarterback who actually, played fairly well in the contest today. And I thought just energy-wise on defense, you saw people playing faster, flying to the football. That, I think, is a good thing. So, look, I think there needs to be kind of like this buildup of trust about the plan that Mike McCarthy has for that football team, get buy-in for it. As Rob said, get guys playing for the guy next to him. And then I think you can start to feel a little bit better about the product that's on the field.
Okay, back to the team that actually won the game today, the 8-0 Steelers. It's their coach now. Live coverage with Mike Tomlin.
All right, Coach, go ahead.
Man, I'm really proud of our football team. 8-0, man, for the first time in franchise history. We're humbled and honored to be that group. It was not without its trials today, obviously. Some of it was created by us. You got to give the Cowboys a lot of credit, man. They really came to play in all three phases, man. They were beating us to the punch. It starts with coaching, then playing. They were on it. We were not. But thankfully, man, like we were talking about last week, we got a group that sticks together, man, a group that's mentally tough and is able to persevere. And I'm thankful for that. But obviously, we can't keep having these conversations every week because one of these weeks we'll be doing it with an L if we're not careful.